let's say there's less noise and whatever. Anyways, cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to another edition of Milanismo Worldwide, where here today we go to the country of my possibly favorite wrestler of all time, the Iron Sheik, because he is from the beautiful country of Iran, Milan Club Iran. Parsa with me live. And Parsa, let's not even talk about Iran right now. I want to ask you, first of all, welcome. But look at those
A
jerseys.
pleasure. Yeah.
Look at those jerseys behind. I see Ibrahimovic. Please explain to us what's there behind you and where are all these beautiful jerseys from.
So they all have a story behind them, really. This was sent to me. Don't know this one. Ibra was sent to me directly from Italy by a really good friend. He's actually a curva. It's a little bit old now, so he doesn't really go inside the curva. But this one, no, this one again, because we're inverted, man.
Yes.
So this one now, it's I got it actually in Milan after we won that final in 03. I
Nice.
forced my family to go to Milan because at the time my uncle was living there actually too, and I bought this jersey.
Wow.
There, yeah, Shevchenko. It's probably you can see now. This one again. I've watched it so many times, but now it's on the wall. I don't really wear it anymore. It's just there.
It's a piece of history,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. This is Iran, basically. So I had to get it because they made it to the World Cup. That was a really good World Cup for us.
You gotta support. You gotta support any way you can,
man.
right?
Yeah. So I tried to get a jersey, here and there, and yeah, every one of them has a story, behind it.
That's what it's all about. All about
And
these stories, right?
yeah, and also this one has a really long story if I want to tell you because I got it
Yes, go ahead.
Casa Milan. So I went to Casa Milan because I used to live in Milan for 5 years. I actually
Okay.
got married there actually, and it was a pleasure. Beautiful years of my life in Milan. And I went to Casa Milan and I wanted to meet someone. I had some questions regarding the Rossonero card. And so they kept me waiting for like 15 minutes. And when the guy came down, it was basically this is the 120-year edition, as you can see. And he came with a bag and he had this ball and he's like, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. And that's when I'm like, that's why I'm a Milanista. I love this club. And this is the reason, we know how to treat each other, and that's very important.
I love that story, right? And hopefully you weren't like me in 2010 when I went into the Milan store and I go, thank God I don't have my credit card with me because it was going to be. This was the time where the Seedorfs were wearing the Seedorfs and the Allegris were wearing that Armani suit with the patch, and I looked at 3,000 euros, and they're like,
Wow.
But it's very dangerous. But we're here to speak about. You're talking to me like these stories, the jerseys. How about your story, Parsa? How did you become a fan of Milan?
This is actually funny too because my entire extended family they are Bayern Munich fans. My uncles, my cousins, in general in Iran, people tend to support Germany.
Okay.
The national team, everything German is okay. And so my youngest uncle, he's a Milan fan, and he happens to live in Vancouver right now, in fact. And he always spoke to me about, the 88, 89, all those, golden years with Raycord and Gullit and Van Basten. And I decided to be a Milan fan. And so I don't know. Of course, you remember 97, 98, we had an awful season. It was terrible with Fabio Capello, and we literally lost every big game. And so I got bullied by my cousins and everybody. And so as a kid, you really don't know why you're supporting your club in the beginning, right? So I had questions in my mind. I had doubts, and came the next season with Zaccheroni. And so we won it. We won Serie A with Leonardo, Wea, and the other person in our forward, I just forgot his name. And so Bierhoff,
Bierhoff as well.
Yeah, he actually became the top goal scorer in that season. And so I was like, over the clouds, and I'm like, I understand football now. In football you go down, but the club that's a legendary club and has history will always come back on its feet, And I learned a lesson or two, and I understood why I chose Milan, and that just reassured me. And since then, I've been a hardcore Milanista. And in '03, I forced my family to travel to Milan from Toronto, actually, because I was living in Toronto at the time. And just because we won Champions League. And that Champions League is not just a normal Champions League. We beat Inter in semifinals. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
pleasure of that, and
Yeah.
then Juventus in finals, cherry on top. You don't find many clubs that have that pleasure. And so, as a Milan fan, I experienced that. And
That's awesome. And I remember 2003. I just moved to Ottawa, and I didn't know anybody. I'm there in a local pub watching the Champions League final, and everybody's wondering why I'm freaking out. Well, these are the stories about the Milan love and everything. But you're telling me that mostly people in Iran are Germany supporters. Talk to us. I know Milan Club Iran is mostly, you said, like a community of people from Iran that love Milan. So if you could tell me, if most people, love everything Germany and German clubs, where did this need for, to get these people talking online? And, obviously, you're going to tell us how many members, or how you guys structured their Milan Club Iran.
okay, don't get me wrong. I mean, Iran is a big country, 80
Mm.
million, 85 million population. There are a lot of people who like Italian, everything Italian. They even compare themselves. They say, "Oh, Iranians." By the way, I just want to say that it is actually pronounced Iran and not
Iran.
Iran and not
Excuse me.
Iran. Yeah, no worries. It's a common mistake. Just like how back in the day people used to say Italy and not
Y-
Italy. You know what I mean? And so yeah, it takes a bit of time for people to get used to that. But it's in general, it's a big country with a big population. So there are a lot of people who actually follow Italian football. They love Italy's national team.
Okay.
A lot of Juventus, Inter, Milan supporters. Rome, there is actually an official fan club, but that's
Oh, okay.
supported by AS Roma. Which is
Mhm.
surprising. I don't understand how. I would like to understand the mystery behind that. But anyway, it's there are a lot of people who follow Italian football in Serie A, and uh, there is something different that you need to also consider, is that we are not like a traditional Milan club fan like around the world, because life in Iran in general in Middle East is a little bit different. There are
Yeah.
no, let's say, bars or pubs where people would get together and drink
Yeah.
and watch the game, and that you call it like a fan club. It's mostly people are online, especially nowadays on social media. There are a lot of channels and pages that try to attract fans. But what we do, we have a website, and this
Okay.
website has been running for 12 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's funny because other clubs like Juventus or Inter, they don't have such thing. Their fans in Iran, they don't have anything even close to this. And we are really proud of that. We gather all AC Milan fans who are Iranians, regardless of where they are,
Mhm.
Iran, Canada, America, Europe.
Okay.
They come there. You can create your account. You can leave comments. You can participate in every discussion. We
But so
Yeah.
like, maybe take me through. Let's say I have friends that Iran, and what are the steps to follow? Is there a cost? Is there how do you guys manage to you said 12 years? That's fantastic. But take us through the steps. If anybody would like to join, this online community, what do they do?
Yeah, absolutely no cost. You just type in the address of the website. At the moment, it's called ac-milan.ir, because IR is like the domain for Iran.
Hmm.
But what the admin of the website has done, and I will speak about him as well, he was able to actually purchase ac-milan.ir. So
Oh,
just
wow.
eliminate the dash, and now it's even more official in that sense. His name is Milad Tagizadeh, and he started this 12 years ago. He spent a lot of years and energy on it, and I've been working with him for a few years now. And you need absolutely nothing. You just come in there, and
Well,
you if you want to leave a comment, of course, you just create your account. You become the part of the community, and you can participate. What we offer, it's not just news that's translated from, let's say, Italian sources or English sources directly to Farsi,
mhm.
Persian. That's the language, Farsi or Persian, two names.
Okay.
We also offer we not offer, but we provide. It's free. We provide online streaming for the games. So if no one can watch it from TV, they can watch it, online through the website. Other things, we have a podcast, of course. I'm the host of the podcast myself. We talk everything Milan, basically. And yeah,
I,
yeah,
I like it. It's like just like a parallel world, right? So doing a podcast and providing streams. How about people in Iran? Like, is it easy to watch a game, or like let's be honest, many people of us, will use illegal streams or whatever the case may be. But
yeah.
is it easily accessible for people from there?
Yes, as far as I know, the national broadcasting, they show the games. They show
Okay.
every important game, not just Milan games, Serie A, La Liga, EPL. They definitely show it. But sometimes, if priority is to EPL and La Liga,
Mm.
or Juventus. Okay,
Obviously.
obviously. And I need to mention this actually for those who know Mehdi Taremi. He just eliminated Juventus last week, and that was just glory for Milan fans who are Iranians to watch that.
A little cherry on top, eh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I saw that, I'm like, "Go, Mehdi, go!" When he got the penalties and he scored in the first game in Portugal. Yeah,
Nice,
that
nice.
was
So yeah, so we could always rejoice in these kind of situations that mock our rivals. But I like it's so different because whether it be an official Milan club or whatever, that's just a title. I love how it's been for 12 years and reaching out to people from around the world, people from any kind of countries, right? And to hear stuff like this is just fantastic. And the brotherhood and the sisterhood of Milan fans, whether it would be you look like my generation. I'm 41 years old. You have the people that are like in their late teens to all the way to the 60s and 70s, and this community. And this is what I realize is that whether we are in Canada, in Italy, in Iran, and anywhere, it's like you have. It's very easy to say, "Hey, let's all meet up this date here at the San Siro, and we all be hugging and embracing each other." Well, past this whole COVID thing, and
yeah,
this is what I love about this whole Milan brotherhood and sisterhood. And you're a perfect proof that this is a feeling that is shared amongst everybody, all our brothers and sisters around the world. Correct?
absolutely, absolutely. Thousands of people. A good scale was when the Milan legendary team came to Iran
Mhm.
for a charity match. I think a
Okay.
few years back with Gattuso and Maldini and Masara and Baresi and all those guys came and they played in Iran. And just the crowd that came to the airport was fantastic. Nobody expected so many people just to come, and I expected it as a Milan fan because I am in touch
Mm.
with Iranians who support Milan. But a lot of people might not know this, but Milan has a lot of fans in Iran. A lot of fans, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. And like you wouldn't expect, and this is no disrespect to Iran, is like you wouldn't think of a country like Iran to go, oh, there's a big Milan community over there, and it's just lovely to hear stuff like this. But I think this question, I know I ask it to a lot of the everybody that comes on, but I think this might even like suit you better as a question. If you did have Milan's ear listening to this podcast, what would you like for them to change, or maybe like you have the floor, they're listening to you to help you, let's say, with this community that you have. What would you tell them?
I think that they need to consider that there is a market of 85 million people that they can invest on. I understand that maybe one reason that people haven't heard of Iran or fans in Iran as much is because of political tensions, political reasons. And we have to put those aside. We know that sport is completely different and people are always involved. Iran as a country, that football is wrestling is the number one sport, but then football would be the first sport. Iron Sheik, you talk about Iron Sheik, but the guy left Iran, I think, in 1978.
In the
And then
yeah,
after the revolution, yeah, yeah.
wasn't he like a security, like a
Of
bodyguard
Shah,
for
yeah,
El Shah? And it's just like
yeah,
I just love him, and he's a character and a half, and I just love him on Twitter. And I just as
yeah.
soon as you said that, I'm like, yeah, I need to mention the Iron Sheik. But So wrestling is number one, but the football definitely
Definitely, yeah, yeah. Well, he made us all humble, and then now,
I
and
love it. I
now,
love it.
yeah, and now we watch football. But yeah, I would like Milan to see that maybe in the future, when all these sanctions and tensions are over, I would like to see an AC Milan store in Iran, because I know that people just want
Mhm.
to buy those jerseys. Anything Milan related, they would love to help the club. I would like to see academies more, not just in Iran, but more around the world. Unfortunately, I think Milan in the past 10 years, because of the problems that we had in our management, we haven't been able to invest really outside of Italy.
Yeah.
And this is something that we need, I think, not just for Iranians, but I think every country has the potential to give something back to Milan, because Milan has fans everywhere in the world. When we talk about fans outside of Italy, Milan is number one.
There
This is
are. Yeah.
not something that I'm saying. This is a fact.
Yeah.
And I think we should exploit this market. And I think Gazidis is doing a good job, and I really wish to see them in Iran as soon as possible, because they are in Middle East, they are there in Dubai and in Saudi Arabia, of course. And but I think there's a market lacking there, and that's Iran. And
So
hopefully, I see them next. Yeah,
I like that idea of expanding, like the worldwide, because if we've been through thick and thin with this team, especially in the last 10 years, and we're still supporting, there's definitely a market there. I'm gonna let you speak. Do you speak Farsi, or do you speak probably maybe both of them, or you speak Persian? I'm gonna let you. Whoever's listening, maybe to this podcast, you could say it in your language of preference. Where can they join this club? How do they find you? And go ahead, and I'm gonna pretend that I know what you're saying, and I'm gonna live translate after. No, but go ahead.
thank you. Farsi and Persian, they're the same
Okay. Oh,
language.
sorry. Okay, so
Two
it's
different names, two different names. Yeah,
two
just
different. So it's the same language. See, but
yeah.
I'm getting an education at the same time. I don't want to sound completely oblivious or not knowledgeable. But so it is the same language. All right. So oh, excuse me. I let you the table and go ahead.
میخوام سلام کنم به تمام طرفدارای میلان، تمام ایرانیایی که طرفدار میلان هستن همه جای دنیا. این فرصت رو داشتم که توی این پادکست بتونم صحبت کنم با وینی عزیز توی میلان ویکلی پادکست. و الان میخوام ازتون خواهش کنم اگه میلانی هستید و دوست دارید میلان رو دنبال کنید، سایت ما هست ac_milan.ir که در آینده نزدیک آخر همین فصل قراره بشه acmilan.ir که به راحتی با تایپ همین توی اینترنت میتونید به سایت بیاین، مراجعه کنید. تمام اخبار میلان اونجا هست، پادکست ما اونجا هست، پخش زنده اونجا هست و همه اولین کانون طرفداران آسه میلان در ایران که 12 سال میلاد تقی‌زاده عزیز داره انجام میده. That's all. Thank you.
Forza Milan. Forza Milan. I like that.
Yes, and Forza Milan, of course.
Forza Milan is international, right?
Yes.
So thank you for taking the time there. Let's close this off with the big question.
Yeah.
Are we finishing top four? Barca, yes or no?
Yes, considering everything, I hope so. I mean, not finishing top four would be a nightmare that we have actually been experiencing in the past 9 years. But this one would be just a slap, a big one. And I really don't think that would happen. Yes, we have 9 games to go and we are still holding on second. I think considering everything, we need to know that, we need to consider that this is not a regular season. And if it was a regular season, I'm sure we would have had a better run even. And so I think Pioli has been doing a great job. Players, it's obvious that we had a dip. It's normal. Show me one club that wouldn't have a dip after being on top.
Part of football, right?
Yes, of course. I mean, for fans who have been supporting the club for, many years, they've seen these, it's a part of the game. You need to get used to it. It's just a matter of time. I understand because we used to see Milan in Champions League every year against big clubs. And so now we are mad. I understand. I'm mad. But it's football and we have to be patient. And so I think considering everything, we can finish top four. I'm not gonna say what I think would be the top four at the end of the season.
No, 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 no. You don't want to. You don't want to jinx yourself there.
Not at all. No, no gufare. Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be nice. I
All
think
right.
we're
So
gonna
you
have a nice
believe
fight.
I like the top four finish. So
Yeah,
thank you so very much. And I did forget
my
to ask
pleasure.
you. I did forget to ask you one question. I know
Yeah.
you talked about these memories and growing up. Who in young Parsa's bedroom? Which poster of any Milan player? Who was that favorite player growing up for you?
So you want me to tell you all time or now? Just
You all time growing up, you're a kid. Who's on your wall? Who's on that poster? Who made you? Who's that one player that's like, okay, this is my guy, and go all time. Me, it's always gonna be Seedorf. It's Clarence. He's professore for me of all time. How about you, Oprah? Who's your number one?
you're really putting me on the spot there.
I
It's
love it.
really, yeah, it's really hard, man. It's very hard to say, but I would say this guy right here, Shevchenko, especially because I was mistaken as a Ukrainian many times when I was a kid, and Maldini and Shevchenko. Maybe I would even get a tattoo. That's how much I would, go.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't go wrong with those answers, right? But Sheva is going to
absolutely,
be Sheva. Maldini always is. It's the easy answer, But for how can you go wrong with those answers, right? And
exactly.
a 2003 jersey right there. Hey, it's going to be 20 years old in a couple of years, and share it. I mean, not share it. Like take care of it. If you got to frame it up, you frame it up. Uh,
Absolutely.
I love the Iran jersey as well. I remember seeing that. Which World Cup did they?
So they were in '06, and
Oh,
then after that, they were in 2014 and 2018.
2018. So you know what? I just love seeing all these different backgrounds, the sharing, the common sharing of love for Milan. Thank you so very much for taking the time. Sorry for the delay,
It's
but
my pleasure. It's my
eh,
pleasure, Vinny.
thank you for reaching out. Thank you for
Thank you.
reaching out to us. And
I want to call you my cousin Vinny.
hey, that's what I am, cousin
Yeah,
Vinny. And hopefully, you're the people on the online community, every single person we spoke to, one day it will happen. We're all meeting there in front of the San Siro. Hopefully the RNG can make it, but if it doesn't make it, it's fine. But hopefully we'll all meet up, we embrace and look at all these clubs around the world.
can I encourage something?
Of
27.
course,
Yeah,
of course.
I just really wanted to encourage all Milan fans around the world, no matter where you come from, what your nationality is, what language you speak, get involved, start a podcast, do something, spread the news, be a Milanista. That's what we need because we've been lacking it in the past years. And I think other clubs are kind of, passing us in this sense. But because we cannot outnumber them, I'm sure about that. It's just that we
Oh
are
yeah.
off. Yeah. So get there and get involved and like, be there, be involved, no matter what language you speak. That's very
I
important.
That's a fantastic thing to say because the same thing with us. We see all these new podcasts, these new Milan guys, and it's oh you've inspired us, and people say oh but look they might be jealous. I go how am I jealous? I'm like spread the content because we need to reach out to we need to get back on. We're there. We just maybe some people might be scared of saying, and it's like maybe this year people are coming out of the woodworks because they're playing a lot better. But Barca, that you couldn't have said it better. Do what you got to do. You're doing a podcast. You look at you guys. It's not like you have an official place. It's an online community. 12 years. There's your
So
perfect proof, guys. Perfect proof. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for making me pronounce Iran perfectly.
my pleasure, man.
Thank you for telling me that Farsi and Persian is the exact same language. Now I'm gonna go. Now, do I go to bed smarter or less stupid? We'll see. We'll see on
No
that
hard
one. Yeah.
feeling.
No. I love no. For me, you know what? If I'm able to learn something every single day, right? I love that, and thank you for taking the time. Thank you for not telling me off that I know all these things. And now you know what's gonna happen. President is gonna listen to this. He's gonna tell me, why didn't you take a look at these things? Why didn't you take a look at the books? But we'll always
No,
have a good
no.
time.
What I love about your podcast is this, how warm, and friendly it is, amicable, and this is how a community should be. We're not professionals. This is not Sky Italia,
No.
and that's what I like about it. And so, please don't sweat it, not at all. Yeah.
Thank you so very much, and we'll talk to each other soon. So, guys, That was Parsa from Milan Club Iran. Let's pronounce it correctly. And
Yeah.
really appreciate him taking the time. Ovunque e sempre. Forza Milan.
Forza Milan.
Ciao.
Ciao.